Well, hello and welcome to Mornings with Ken Rosato. It is Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Around these parts, we call it Hump Day, or in French, they call it Le Jour de Humph. Hump Day. We'll take calls at 888-658-0234 to kick things off. Meteorologist Mike Favetta with a forecast near you. And yesterday was, I believe the term is delightful or delicious. Today,
Yes,
not so
it
much, right?
was.
A little different.
Just a little more humid, right? The muggy weather. You kind of tasted it in the air last evening when the wind changed, and yet that's what's on the way today. Was the appetizer before the entree, and yet there's going to be an oomph of humidity coming back in with today being hump day, especially into tomorrow. So we wake up this morning, lots of clear sky. There will be some clouds around, but notice with that westerly wind now taking over today into tomorrow, it's the southwesterly wind that ultimately into tomorrow gives us our very warm weather with that very hot and dry feel out west. That warmth eventually spreading eastward today. So you see in the futurecast throughout the afternoon, we get a few pop-up passing thunderstorms, but most of the day is generally dry. Tomorrow, better chance of seeing those storms, especially in northern New Jersey, as that front approaches, and it's the warmest and most humid day of the week with feels like temperatures that are around 97 to 99 degrees, just shy of that heat advisory criteria. Going into Friday, that's when the drier weather takes over, a few passing clouds, but it's a more pleasant weekend ahead with that very pleasant feel. And even throughout the weekend upcoming, we have lots of dry weather forecasts. So a few of these passing clouds around into New Jersey this morning with most of the wet weather entering from the west. I don't think we see that until much later on today. We'll give you more details about it and time it out with the Futurecast Ken coming up in just a few minutes as our taste of summer arrives here across New Jersey.
Il sapore dell'estate, il taste of summer. That's what do we do. Why did I break into the Italian accent? I don't know. I don't know, but I think I need my medication. Thank you very much. All right, Mike, we appreciate it as always, sir. Thank you. Traffic-wise, not so bad a lot. Let's see. We have on Route 3 a crash reported westbound by the Garden State Parkway in Clifton. The left lane of 3 lanes closed right now. So that's Route 3, Clifton. You didn't see anything, did you, Pam? On the cameras? Yeah, sometimes it just pops up on the cameras and sometimes it just, it's like, where's this accident? Where? So again, this is but that's a big area, lots of traffic usually on a good day. Again, there's a crash, Route 3 westbound Garden State Parkway, Clifton, the left lane is closed. 495, which is the approach to the Lincoln Tunnel, we are told there's a disabled vehicle eastbound just east of 1 and 9 in North Bergen with the right lane blocked. So that's about a mile before the picture, the video that we always show you. There you go. So it's a mile behind that we have this disabled vehicle slowing things down. And then once you get to that's the approach right there. You see as the buildings are in front of you, they go straight by that underpass and then they curve around. That's called the helix because helix in Latin means snail because it's shaped like a snail shell. So that's why they call it the helix. So as they go around that turn, they go into the helix, and it's the whole purpose of that. Aside from the fact that it's meant to turn the cars in the other direction so you can get into the tube, it's meant to extend the strip of vehicles so that you don't have a backup that goes all the way to Pennsylvania, making your way into New York City. So that's what you have going into the Lincoln. The Holland Tunnel is about a 25-minute crossover time. GWB, we don't have the same camera as usual today. What do we have here, Pam? I know you have a different camera. Oh, okay. That does show us something. It's a little farther back. So at this point, if you see cars stopped on the left, which is what you see there, or trucks, that will tell you that that's a much longer delay into Manhattan. So right there, you're talking about 40 minutes at least, because this is about half a mile behind the normal shot that we show you. On the right side, it's the lower level. On the left side, it's the upper. So 40 minutes into Manhattan that way. Over to Los Angeles, and we have a collision right now. Santa Fe Springs at the 5 and Paramount Boulevard off-ramp. We have a collision, unknown injuries, Baldwin Park at the 10 and Pacific Avenue off-ramp. Another collision now, Baldwin Park at the 60 and Reservoir Street. Tragedy on the New Jersey Turnpike in Mercer County earlier yesterday. A serious crash resulted in the death of a child and sent 2 drivers to the hospital. It happened in East Windsor just before 1:30 in the morning. State police say a tractor trailer slammed into a Subaru before crashing into another truck and then crashing into a guardrail. That crash now under investigation. Sunday's huge UFC celebration at the White House could have gone very, very badly had the FBI not uncovered and intercepted a plot that was meant to attack the Freedom 250 event on Sunday. Intelligence uncovered at least 12 suspects across the country who are part of an extreme far left so called accelerationist ideology, hoping to bring down American capitalism. They're a bunch of literally fat, ugly weirdos who sit in mommy's basement and hate life. Well, he's not so fat, but he is a weirdo. They all literally just kind of get on and play. They game, and they're on Signal, and they chat, and they get bitchy about everything in life. Everything in the world pisses them off, and so these folks, these guys, allegedly um, were plotting to basically attack the Capitol. Here was the alleged ringleader. Doesn't he look like the kind of guy who would want to attack the Capitol? So they hate capitalism, they hate America. It's not even about the president. They just hate America. And this was the event on Sunday. You had thousands upon thousands of people there enjoying a beautiful day, enjoying freedom and celebrating America. So apparently, the parent of one of the teens that's believed to be the one you just saw, the balding one, the parent of that individual allegedly got wind of or saw some of the discussion and apparently reported that to police. The suspects were in California, Ohio, Missouri, and Nebraska, most of them apparently in California. They had plotted to gather in Fredericksburg, Virginia. It's about an hour out of D.C. And from there, they're going to launch a drone attack on the White House and the surrounding buildings. That would have caused mayhem. Everybody would have fled. There's 40 some odd hundred people there, with people fleeing in every direction from the gathering. And then they would have had snipers set up throughout the DC area to pick off people as they run. Isn't that disgusting? Innocent people. These are just innocent people. While members of the group were planning on storming the gates of the White House. So you'd have multiple things going on at the same time. That was part of their plot. So they really gave this thought. So to say that this wasn't an organized thought, it's going to be tough defense for them because allegedly they gave this quite a lot of thought. The group claims to hate capitalist elites, billionaires, and politicians with ties to Israel. Once again, there you go, leftist media that has been bashing Israel for like a year or two now. Actually, just post the pandemic, they really started bashing Israel because you have a lot of fundamentalist leftists and Muslims in this country. Not all Muslims. These we're talking the terrorist extremist groups. We're talking the Hezbollah types who are financing this. They're the ones financing all the protests on the college campuses. They're the ones, the pro-Palestine. They're financing all that. So these kids are going to colleges that you're paying for, getting brainwashed by the groups like Hezbollah, financing these pro-PLO, pro-Palestinian groups on college campuses. 5 people have been arrested in connection with the plot. The FBI says a lot more could be coming. 8 minutes past the hour, at least 68 Citibank employees in Hudson and Bergen counties will be handed pink slips in a few weeks, sadly, part of the 141 slotted to be eliminated over the course of a year. The bank says it is part of Citigroup's broader multi-year restructuring plan to eliminate 20,000 global positions by the end of 2026. Venezuela's interim government has signed a deal with General Electric Vernova to help rebuild the country's struggling electrical grid. Interim President Delcy Rodriguez called the agreement an historic step toward restoring reliable electricity service and encouraging economic recovery. Just so that you know, now, I don't know about the rest of the country, but Caracas, the capital of Venezuela, was 25, 30 years ago one of the most modern, wealthy cities in the Western Hemisphere. It looked like any modern skyscraper, you'd want to go hang there. It was a great, great city. I know people from there. I have been not far from there. It is a beautiful city, or was. And then when communism takes over, it turns into decay. So what was a beautiful place turned into decay. Unfortunately, that happened. But the good news is Delcy Rodriguez knows that if she doesn't play well with the American government, what's going to happen, what happened to her predecessor, Maduro, would happen to her. So she is playing ball with Donald Trump. As a result, good things are happening to the country. So if they just keep on that same track, you watch, Venezuela is going to be a hotspot, a good hotspot in the next few years. The partnership reflects a broader warming of relations between Venezuela, the U.S., and all Western countries after the arrest and removal of former dictator Nicolas Maduro. We can't call him a leader or a president. He was a dictator. Critics argue that many government institutions do remain under the control of Maduro-era loyalists, though, and that means that meaningful democratic reforms are still needed before the country can fully rebuild investor confidence. It'll take time. People are getting a taste now because remember, you had a whole generation that was raised under communism. So this will take them back to capitalism. A fleet of 400 drones lit up the night sky in Seattle to create the first ever FIFA scoreboard displayed in the air, showcasing the score of the Egypt-Belgium match. The aerial light show, witnessed by fans gathered below, was part of FIFA's efforts to build excitement around the tournament, bringing the atmosphere to completion directly to local communities. Spectators described the display as a unique way to celebrate the event. Someone said it was like bringing the party here. And speaking of events of sports, some San Francisco Giants baseball players are in hot water today. Get this. They were issued warnings by the MLB because they wore Bible verses on their uniforms during a Pride Night game. Now, they wouldn't have done it if they were not already forced. You see that cap right there with the pride, the rainbow colors. So the MLB has no problem forcing players to wear baseball caps that have gay pride colors on there. Now, remember, folks, I'm gay, okay? You don't win people's hearts by saying you will take this and like it. That's not the way you make friends. You don't tell a dad, a young man, that you must embrace the gay lifestyle or else. And that's what the MLB is doing. This is what the communist left does. So they force these guys to wear, these are men. These are heterosexual men. You force them to wear pride flags. The fact that they just treat gay people okay should be enough. No, we're going to shove it right up their asses, make them wear pride flags. No. So what they did was, if you're going to make me wear a pride flag, I'm going to put a Bible verse there. So, and now they're in trouble because of the Bible verse, not the pride flag. That shows you how twisted this country has become. The Giants are now saying that they're not going to fine them this time out, but if that happens again, they could be in serious trouble, the Giants and the MLB. So, I don't know. I think what you got to do is boycott. I'm sorry, I don't like boycotts, but you have to reach out to the baseball team and the MLB and say, hey, you force them to wear pride colors like that, I'm not going to show up. I'm not going to show up and have your ideology stuck down my throat. 7:13 with Father's Day and graduation season here. Finding the right gift can be a challenge. Dina Delisa Gansar stopped by London Jewelers, which is celebrating its 100th anniversary, to check out some timeless gift ideas. From elegant jewelry to luxury timepieces, she found plenty of inspiration for the dads and grads in your life. Check this out.
Hi, my name is Dina Delisa Gonzer, and today we are here celebrating 100 years of London Jewelers, a fourth-generation family-run jewelry store. And we're going to be talking about gifting our dads and grads, those special milestones and everyday heroes. Here to walk me through is Julia Shaw, a sales associate at the Short Hills location. Hi, Julia.
Hi.
It's nice to see you today.
Nice to see you too.
So we have some really classic pieces that are good to say, hey, great achievement, thank you, Dad. Can you walk us through some of these?
Absolutely. So let's start with the grad gifts over here for our ladies. We have Diamond by the Yards with a pave heart diamond.
So pretty.
With mother of pearl diamonds as well over here, and diamond hoops, just classic pieces that they'll have with them forever.
I love all of the detail. I love the mother of pearl, and can you imagine opening that up on a graduation day? It must make you feel so special. And then for our dads, what are some of our pieces?
So we'll start over here. These are our Tudor watches that we have here. We have the Black Bay 58 Burgundy on the 5-link bracelet. This is definitely something for your dad that likes the classic look but wants to venture out and to do something a little different.
So watches have personality.
Absolutely. And then we'll move over here. This is our Black Bay 1 collection with the champagne dial and the diamond markers. Now these come in an array of different millimeters, so these are perfect for Mother's Day as well as our grads out there, something that they'll keep with them forever.
Yes.
We have our Black Bay 58. This is the classic black with the 3-link bracelet. This is perfect for the grads as well as dads out there as well. This is something a little bit different. This is the Black Bay 58 925. It's made out of sterling silver. It will patina and it has that vintage look.
It does, and it has that leather strap,
Yes.
which is a little bit different than the other ones.
A little bit softer calfskin strap. And then this is for our dads out there that are active. This is our 43 millimeter Pelagos FXD.
Wow.
It's made out of carbon fiber.
Definitely looks a little more sporty.
Definitely. It's going to be light and durable. Perfect for your active dads out there.
And that's the great thing with picking out a gift. You're thinking about their personality, their lifestyle, and these watches really play into that. I'm also loving the bracelets I'm seeing here. Can you give me more detail about them?
Absolutely. So this bracelet here is lapis with turquoise, and it also turns into a necklace. It has the silver chain as well, so you can wear it a bunch of different ways. We have some tiger's eye with lapis as well, and then we have an array of different chains for your grads and dads out there, different millimeters, different styles.
So really all different ways to celebrate them and their achievements, and I guess what they're going to be doing moving forward, which is really nice. Thank you so much for being with us today, Julia, and walking us through perfect gifts for our dads and grads.
Love London Jewelers. And thank you, Dina Delisa Gonza, for that. The watches were gorgeous. I don't know if you saw that. Anybody interested in buying me a gift? Just saying. It is 16 minutes past the hour right now. And we go to meteorologist Mike Favetta, who's standing by, who has a check of the Garden State forecast. Mike, this is Daddy's Day. Do you drop hints a lot to family members, being you're a dad twice over?
Do I drop the hints? No, I just usually buy it and say it's in the mail. It's on the way, and then make sure it's something for the whole family to enjoy.
Oh, look at
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
I'd be very
I try.
selfish. I'd
I
be
try.
like, hey, do you know what to do to make this household good? Huh? That's what I would say, but that's just me. All right, sir. So we're
I
looking
try.
at
I try.
sticky today, the stickies today, right?
The humidity, yeah, comes back in a big way. We saw the dry weather yesterday with those northerly winds. Today, the westerly wind pushing in a lot of that warmer air. It's also bringing the pollen levels back specifically for weeds. Weeds are usually a late summer bloomer. However, we're starting to see them pop a little bit higher over the last few days as that weather warms quickly. And with that, speaking of warm weather, way out west, have another round of that excessive heat today out in the desert southwest with temperatures anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees above normal going right up the west coast. Back here in New Jersey, have that cloud cover this morning leading to some more humid conditions by the afternoon. But notice we dry out very nicely in time for the weekend. It's only like a 2-day pair of humid days before the wet weather comes back on Monday and gives us a little bit of that shower threat. And then Tuesday into Wednesday of next week turns nice and dry. So beyond that, we pan out and you see all of those clouds and showers lined up by the end of the day tomorrow. That's the front pushing through. Drier by Friday, a more pleasant feel, and then very nice this weekend. Temperatures in the 80s with low humidity just in time for Father's Day before more wet weather comes back at us into Monday. So other than this passing shower, which likely gives us a midday brief shower of rain, we're looking good for the rest of the day, but the humidity will be on the rise. You'll notice it, especially by this evening, Ken.
All right, sir. I'm noticing it now. You could feel it. Definitely feel it. It's just a whole different feeling from yesterday morning or the day
Mhm.
before, certainly. But it is what it is. This is what happens in June. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. It is 19 minutes past the hour. In terms of traffic, just a couple of quickies for you. Route 21, we have a crash northbound north of Passaic Street, Oriental Street in Newark. The left lane of 3 lanes currently closed. We have some problems on the Hudson River crossings right now. The into the Holland Tunnel. It's now going to cost you about 30 to 35 minutes on Route 139 coming off of 78. The Lincoln Tunnel approach, we already showed you some issues before. There's not only there we go, there's the Lincoln Tunnel approach. So just about a mile before this point, which is by 495, the approach of 495, about a mile behind there is a disabled vehicle, and that's causing a big slowdown. Then they come around and boom, then you just have volume and easterly facing, sun glare as folks make their way to the helix. In all, that'll cost you 35 to 40. GWB upper and lower levels right now, about 40 minutes in. Upper level is going to be on the left side of your screen. I don't know if we have this shot. And the lower level's on the right. Upper level looks like you're not as good as a way in. Your better bet is going to be lower level on the right side. If you see the lane split, go to the lower level. That'll save you about 5 minutes. Over to LA, just a couple of things to tell you about right now. We have a traffic collision, no injuries though, on West LA on the 405 at Rosecrans Avenue West off-ramp. And then there's a collision in Santa Fe Springs on the 5 at Paramount Boulevard off-ramp. 20 minutes past the hour, local news outlets across New Jersey have faced significant challenges in recent years, making it more difficult for communities to access reliable information about the issues that affect their daily lives. Well, one organization working to strengthen local journalism and civic engagement is the New Jersey Civic Information Consortium. To discuss the state of local news in New Jersey and efforts to restore funding for the consortium is Mike Rispoli, Senior Director at Free Press Action. Good morning to you, Mike, and welcome to On New Jersey.
Hey, good morning, Ken. Thanks for having me.
Oh, great to have you here. In fact, I'm sorry it's taken this long for the two of us to say hello to each other because of what you do. What is the New Jersey Civic Information Consortium? Tell everybody what you guys do.
Sure. The New Jersey Civic Information Consortium, which was created in 2018, is a independent nonprofit housed at Montclair State University that receives both private funds from philanthropy as well as funds from the state of New Jersey and invests it into local news and community information. It has given out about $12 million over the course of its time, and it's invested in journalism jobs, in both legacy media as well as startup media. It funds student scholarships and student fellowships. But really what it's trying to do is to make sure that New Jersey residents can get access to information and news about what's happening in their community, what's happening in their schools, whether their water is safe to drink, what local businesses are opening up, what's happening at the local high schools. So it's really, it was really created as a way to address the real challenges facing local news in the state of New Jersey.
You know, Mike, when I was in college 150 years ago, I remember somebody wrote a paper on the reason why at the time, we're not suggesting anything today, but at the time there was so much political corruption in the state of New Jersey at the time. And one of the suggestions was because the two TV radio markets were Philly, New York, New Jersey kind of felt like a big bedroom. And they didn't have the resources to really do local investigations and keep the politicians on their toes and make sure they were on the up and up. And so people kind of ran in the dark and did what they wanted to do. And now, then we had the 1970s, 1980s, we had this resurgence. Every radio station had a news department. Today, none of them do. Not one, maybe one, 101.5. They do a very nice job. That's about it. The others kind of struggle. They use automated everything. So why has local news done this? How did it shrivel to what it is today? We have one newspaper, two newspapers for the entire state, maybe that really cover the state, and their news departments have shrunk to just skeleton staffs. It's just so sad to see the state of local news.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, historically, I grew up in New Jersey. I was a reporter for the Asbury Park Press and for, what was at the time the Newark Star Ledger. I think a lot of New Jersey residents know a lot of information and news comes from New York, comes from Philadelphia. The state's always really heavily relied on local media for people to find out what's happening in their community. And that's just no longer the case. It's really hard for people to find out what's happening just in the place where they live, as well as what's happening in the State House. And I think a lot of those changes are to, changes in the business model, the internet, advertisers going there. And as much as that is a real challenge for the news industry, the effects are really on the people of the state of New Jersey. Studies have shown that when local news disappears or is insufficient, that to your point, corruption increases, fewer people vote, fewer people volunteer, fewer people run for public office, fewer federal dollars go to districts where there's no local news presence. So as much as this has been a real challenge for local media in New Jersey, it's really its residents that have felt the negative impacts as local news has dried up.
I think the founders of this country, they were brilliant beyond anyone's conception of how brilliant they were, how important it was to have a free press and allow the press to police elected officials, et cetera, and keep the public informed. I mean, even though it may have been way back when they first got here, it could have been just the town crier. And that was the origins of the press, right? There's ringing the bell and getting people together because that was the internet then. But it was necessary, and they saw even then the how essential it was to make sure everybody was updated, everybody knew what was going on, to keep everybody on their toes. Now the consortium has had quite an impact since it was created. Talk about that.
Yeah, the impact's been really significant, both in New Jersey as well as beyond. So, as I mentioned earlier, it's invested $12 million thus far into local news projects. It has, for instance, the Ridgeview Echo up in Sussex County. That is a very rural area. Has been a lack of local news, and after the consortium was created, a group of community members got together and applied for a grant, and were able to create a local news outlet in a place where there had not been one before. If you are like me, I love following New Jersey politics, and it wasn't that long ago where there were no reporters covering our congressional delegation down in DC. All of the reporters that had been staffed at different papers in the state have been laid off. And so the consortium stepped in to fund a congressional reporter to cover the state's delegation down in DC. And I also think one thing that's been really incredible to see, I love working with young journalists, and we've been able to invest into high school journalism programs and buying students equipment so we can also train the future cohort of journalists. And I think that we're also seeing other states look at New Jersey as a leader in trying to solve this really real problem. This is a national problem, and New Jersey was really one of the first states to take a really bold step in trying to make sure that residents can just find out what's going on in their community.
Democracy dies in darkness. What is a website for more information, Mike?
If you want to find out more about the New Jersey Civic Information Consortium, check out njcivicinfo.org.
Amen. Listen, thank you for what you do. The New Jersey Civic Information Consortium, amazing, strengthening local journalism and civic engagement. May there be 10 times the impact for all the hard work that you guys all do. It's Free Press Action. Mike Rispoli, Senior Director there at Free Press Action. Thank you so much for coming on today. Have a great day.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you for what you do, too.
Thank you. Appreciate you. It is 28 minutes past the hour. When we return, there's an innovative company that uses plant-based manufacturing methods to reduce waste before products are even made. We'll talk with the co-founder of Simply Fiber when we come back in 2. very good morning. 30 minutes past the hour, Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato, live on the East Coast and the West. We go to meteorologist Mike Favetta, our favorite dad on the air, with the forecast near you. So let me ask you something. Now that you have
Mm,
two children
yes.
for this Father's Day, do you get twice the gifts?
I don't know. I guess we'll find. I'll let you know next week. How about that?
All right, we'll be
Um,
looking.
Steph just got her push presents a couple weeks late, so we're kind of we're working backwards here as we go into the summer. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'm not sure. I don't even what
Two kids,
I just
two
want
kids under 17 months. I mean, how busy could your household be?
just
Seriously,
just
and
peace and
both of you
quiet, please.
work.
I mean,
You and
we're
your wife
attracting
both
the
work.
neighbors with the screaming and the temper tantrums now that we're outside on the back patio, so it's like, oh my
You
goodness.
know what? You are
Yeah.
just the luckiest man in the world that Rocco is a chill dog. That's all that you're
Mm-hmm.
lucky about. Rocco's
Yeah.
like, what
Yeah.
is going on? I didn't sign on to all
Mm.
this.
No, especially when Nina wants to sit on him constantly, and he's like, oh, and he just gets up and walks away. So yeah, the chill
Love
dog
it.
is always needed. The weather's kind of chill today. We don't have much going on weather-wise. And tomorrow, some storms come through. So even after all of the clouds from earlier this morning into the afternoon, you see some random little pop-up storms here. That's just along the warm front. Probably come through later on in the overnight, especially tomorrow morning. With that front, it'll be a warm and humid feel, even more humid than it is today, and that warm weather lasts into Friday, but the drier weather takes over for Friday, as is the case for Saturday and Sunday. So we have very lovely weather on the way, just in time for the holiday weekend. Well, a holiday for me, for Father's Day. Plenty of clear sky off to our north. Down south is where you see all of those clouds and a lot of the showers here, even extending all the way down to the southeast. Out west, we've been mentioning how dry it is. Nothing going on there. It stays very calm and clear, and with all of that dry weather remaining through the next few days, that northerly breeze is what's allowing for those temperatures to be anywhere from 10 to 20 degrees above average. A little bit of a marine layer each morning, and then afternoons turns nice and dry yet again. So nothing going on out west other than the excessive heat that continues for the next several days. Don't even see a cloud this morning, so it looks nice and dry there. So we have our chances of rain upcoming for the next few days, keeping an eye to the sky, especially with the storms tomorrow. We'll time out those storms coming up with your next weather update, Ken, in a few minutes.
All right, Mike, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it. And we do have some traffic issues to tell you about. Let's take the shot at I-76. This is toward Philadelphia. This is in Belmar, actually. I-76, we have a crash now, eastbound exit 1B by 295 in Belmar. You can see the slowdown there. It's sort of the upper left now where those vehicles are going to. But everything is slow through there. That's just an overpass. It looks like a tunnel. It's actually not. Just an overpass there. But so this just happened in the last 15 minutes. The ramp lane is closed as they pass that overpass right there. We have a fluid spill, Route 322 westbound east of Route 559, and that is in Hamilton. The right lane of two lanes and the right shoulder closed. On the Garden State Parkway now, we have a crash southbound north of exit 144, which is Route 510 in Newark. All lanes are open, but that's really causing a big slowdown through that area. That area from like exit 143 to 151, 152, that whole stretch is always heavy at this time of the day. You add a crash to that, that's going to be a mess. And then we have a crash on Route 21, always heavy, Route 21 in the morning. Route 21 northbound north of Passaic Street in Newark, left lane of three lanes closed there. To the Hudson River crossings, the approach to the Holland Tunnel already heavy. Route 139, making your way from 78 into the tunnel, is going to cost you about 35 minutes. The Lincoln Tunnel approach by 495, the Helix, that's been heavy for about an hour. There's a disabled vehicle just behind where you see that traffic. Then once they go forward, they get the sun glare as they make their way to the Helix. In all, it's about 35 minutes, 35 to 40 in the Manhattan. GWB, we have a different camera angle for you today, but the GWB upper and lower level 8095 approach, that's about 40 minutes right now. You can see the upper level is on the left, lower on the right. And even though the lower level comes back farther, you're still better off. It's moving more rapidly, if you will, a little by 5 miles an hour on the right. So try to take the local lanes as opposed to the express lanes making your way into Manhattan. Over to LA, just a couple of things to tell you about. A hit and run, no injuries. Baldwin Park by East Foothill Boulevard, where it intersects with North San Dimas Canyon Road. traffic collision with no injuries. And this is in Baldwin Park on the 605 at Lower Azusa Road. And then we have a crash that just happened West LA at the 405 and Rosecrans Avenue West off ramp. 35 minutes past the hour right now, and there's a really smart and super innovative company that uses plant-based manufacturing methods in order to reduce waste before products are even made. The company's called Simply Fiber, and Maria Incher Orang is the co-founder, and she's here this morning. And please tell me if I mispronounced your name, Maria.
No, that was perfect. Thank you. Nice to
Very
meet
good.
you.
Nice to meet you too. Tell us first what made you start the company.
Well, I was working as a fashion designer for a really long time in both Europe and the US. In the US, I worked for Vera Wang at the time. And I just really didn't like the production method that we had in fashion. It's a lot of hand labor. It's really a long process. And I saw the industry move away from natural materials and into polyester, and largely because of plastic. And what I realized was we need a better way to deal with natural materials that's more automated. So we've made a system that actually treats natural materials a little bit more like plastic.
Interesting. So what people don't realize is everything, almost every piece of clothing we sell in the United States, right, has some polyester for a bunch of different reasons. Part of it is money, right? Isn't it a less expensive material? And all of that comes from oil. And so if you want to reduce the reliance on fossil fuels, reduce the reliance on oil, and you'll have less polyester, and you go to more natural fabrics and fibers like we did 100 years ago, right? We had more cotton, et cetera. We had other types of materials. But as you mentioned, it was just more difficult to manufacture that. And so they go for the cheaper way, and that was the polyester. Do I have that right?
That's exactly right. And then, in addition to that, at the end of the lifespan of the material, it becomes microplastics very easily, especially in textiles. So we wanted to look at the whole life cycle of how you make it, how you use it, and then the end of life as well, and take that into consideration.
Never, ever, ever, ever did I give that 1 second of thought. I'm so glad you're bringing that up. Where does it go? We toss it. We don't even think about it. We think it decays. Cotton fiber does break down, but polyester does not.
Mhm.
And the fact that we are so inundated with microplastics says a lot. Now, how is the manufacturing process different now with the natural fibers? How are you doing this?
Yeah, so it's very similar to, it's a kind of a cross between a paper making and injection molding. So it's a process where we're actually making the material and the shape at the same time. So we're not making rolls of fabric, we're actually making shaped panels that never were a roll of fabric, so you don't have to assemble them so much. And it cuts out a lot of layers of the supply chain, so you don't have to spin or weave or knit. And a lot of the cutting and sewing is gone as well. And it's designed to bring the cost and complexity down of working with those natural materials.
So you eliminate an entire difficult step in the process of I guess interweaving all of that to create big batches of fiber. That's insanely brilliant. Insanely brilliant. I don't mean that you're insane. I find that I'm the one who's insane, but I find that brilliant and one of those kind of time changing and society altering things. How does this the demand, if you will, the demand for plant-based fibers, is it difficult to get plant-based fiber today, or are we still producing enough of it? If say society were to change over and get rid of polyester and go to plant-based fiber, would there be enough plant-based fiber to supply everybody?
Actually, we make a lot of plant-based fibers because paper is made of wood pulp, and that is one of the most well-scaled natural materials out there. In addition to that, cellulose, which is kind of the building block of plants, which is what we use, is the most abundant organic compound on Earth. So it's wildly abundant. There are many, many different forms of it, and you can also change the tree depending on where you are. You can also use things like recycled materials. We use a lot of recycled clothing, recycled paper. Yeah, lots of different ways to address this. We even made some stuff out of recycled tennis balls recently.
That is just amazing, amazing. And talk about the environmental benefits. We're talking about reducing waste. We're talking about cellulose is one of the most renewable things in the world, right? Because I believe for every tree we cut down, we plant six more so that it is easy to keep that resource going. Um, and the fact that just the idea that we would be that much less reliant on fossil fuel, and I believe I read something like 20 to 30% of all the fossil fuel we derive that we pull out of the ground, that goes into clothing and polyester. So imagine how much less we'd be using for clothing. And then all the microplastics that we wouldn't be adding to the environment. This is just a win-win-win all around. And what has the industry been responding like to this?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of interest from unexpected places, actually, because we started this as a clothing and fashion thing, but we got a ton of interest from the shoe industry because there are so few materials that actually are strong enough and durable enough, yet flexible to make into a shoe that are natural. And then once we got into the shoe industry, we got a lot of car industry people writing to us who were also interested in the same thing. Because whenever you have an application where you need a really durable material, it's hard for a lot of natural materials to compete. So once they heard we could do shoes, they were like, why don't you try cars? And we actually can do cars, and the material lasts a really long time.
Cars. Oh my God. You had me. I don't know. They take me off camera. My mouth is hanging down here. So you can do everything basically that you could do pretty much with polyester and plastics and what from oil. You can do with plant-based fiber. Do I have that right?
Yeah, exactly. And we're going to see a trend happening with this because it's like your cups became more paper instead of plastic. Now we're going to see the trend in more durable things. So it's going to be really exciting over the next few decades.
Please tell me a website. I'm sorry to step on you, Maria. Please tell me a website where people can get more information about your company and about Simply Fiber.
So simplyfiber.com is our website. You can read all about the latest projects we're doing and keep up with us. I think there's a newsletter you can sign up with as well.
You are brilliant. I hope you give Elon Musk a run for his money and become a multi-trillionaire for what you have come up with here. Just pure brilliance, and I mean it. This is literally changing society as we have it today. The company is called Simply Fiber, Simplyfiber. Look it up. Maria Incher-Orang, the co-founder, brilliant person. Please come back again. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Wow. I mean, that's brilliant. That is, talk about innovation. Talk about innovation. That could change everything as we know it. The whole game right there. It is 43 minutes past the hour. When we come back, summer officially begins this weekend. If you're looking to refresh your wardrobe, speaking about fashion, because Maria used to be a fashion person, still is, clearly. We're going to speak to On New Jersey's fashion expert, Dawn Del Russo, our dear friend, who is here with some cool tips. Meteorologist Mike Favetta's full forecast too, and we'll take calls at 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings and Mornings with Ken Rosato. You can call it either one, depending on the time of the day. We're back in 2 minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to Mornings with Ken Rosato. 46 minutes past the hour, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Beautiful yesterday, gorgeous the day before. A little sticky today, but as we come into summer, it could be worse. Let's go to meteorologist Mike Favetta. All set for Father's Day this year with two
Mm-hmm.
little ones in the house. So we, we'll have to think. Steph has been asking me, "What do you think Mike wants?" And I said, "I think he wants two more kids."
Oh gosh, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. Wait a little bit. The sleep is lacking over here. Just yeah, yeah. Just that brain fog lingers for weeks and weeks, and then it turns into months. And yeah, I can't believe it's already almost the end of June, right? Summer around the
Isn't it
corner.
something?
Yeah, and
It's where
summer
I,
coinciding
yeah,
with the start, or Father's Day coinciding with the start of summer. So it's
yes.
the warm weather that you can enjoy. It's good nap weather because that's what Dad could use, especially with the little ones napping on a sunny summer day without all of that stubborn heat and humidity that comes back in today and tomorrow. So I think by Friday, we'll see a little bit of a change in the weather, bringing back that lovely feel. Outside this morning, we have plenty of clear sky, but the humidity rolls back in with that some storms into the end of the week. But I think by Saturday and Sunday we're dry. Look what happens by Sunday evening though. You see this storm race in from the west. That'll probably get us by Sunday night, but clear out into Monday, bringing back lots of clear sky for Tuesday and Wednesday. So most of next week, again, turns nice and dry and stays that way. So we get another nice stretch of weather as we head into next week. Just a few passing pop-up showers and storms today. Not too worried about it. Plan on the sunny weather. But it's tomorrow evening as that front approaches that we could see some more significant storms pass through by the afternoon, and that'll give us some wet weather. Friday clears out beautifully. We stay nice and dry throughout the day, and then really sunny. A pretty way to start the day on Saturday. Through the first day of July, average warmth here across the Northeast. The real heat, though, down across the Southeast U.S., and increasing chances of rain as we head through the end of June as well. But it's that drought that remains and actually became extreme across the southern part of New Jersey, matching that even in some of the southern states. We've got more details on that coming up with your New Jersey forecast, Ken. That's in just a few minutes.
All right, sir. Thank you very much, Mike. We do have a couple of things. Oh, I should mention temperature first. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting. 57 degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 61 in Trenton. Over to Los Angeles, 63 degrees, and it's 64 degrees in San Diego. Now, we do some traffic for you. On Route 76, we have a crash. This is Belmar, which is making your way toward Philadelphia. It may have just been cleared because the right lane, as you enter this overpass here, it is an overpass, really, not a tunnel. It looks like a tunnel. But the right lane was bumper to bumper about 15 minutes ago. Now it looks like it's totally clear. So that's a good thing. We'll take that off our list. Garden State Parkway. This we have a crash on. This is Garden State Parkway southbound, north of exit 144, Route 510 in Newark. All lanes are open, but folks are getting, slowing down as they go past. So if you take a look at this shot, this is as they come past the tolls. And you could see them just slowing down. That slowdown there caused by the crash. It's just about 2 miles away from there. So, that whole stretch from 143 to 151, 152 in the Garden State is always heavy. Now, because of the crash on the shoulder, it's especially heavy. We have a disabled vehicle, Goethals Bridge, eastbound midspan in Elizabeth, right lane blocked. And we have a fluid spill, Route 322 westbound, east of Weymouth Road in Hamilton. Right lane and right shoulder currently closed. Route 21, always a mess in rush hour anyway, but even more now. Northbound, north of Passaic Street in Newark, we have a crash. Left lane of the 3 lanes closed. Your Hudson River approaches. Do we have Route 139, Pam? If you could show 139 because we have heavy traffic. Oh, it's just a sign. They moved the camera on us. All right. So suffice to say, Route 139 coming from 78 into the tunnel. It's 35 minutes. It's very heavy already. Lincoln Tunnel approach, 495 Helix. That's going to cost you 35 to 40 as well. And that's because there was an earlier disabled vehicle just behind the camera. And we thought it would lighten up making your way to the tunnel, but not so much. You can see it's heavy all the way in, 35 to 40. GWB upper and lower levels, both been heavy already. Different camera angle doesn't look as bad because it's farther back. So that means there's more room for cars and trucks to build up, but now it is bad. So the fact that it's backed up this far back, in the normal camera shot is when you go around that bend and you go another half a mile. That's the normal camera shot. So that means that a half a mile farther back, you have delays. That's really ugly. So that's going to cost you a solid 45 into Manhattan right now. To the West Coast, our check in LA right now, hit and run, no injuries, Baldwin Park at Foothill Boulevard and North San Dimas Canyon Road. Traffic collision, no injuries though, Baldwin Park on the 605 at Lower Azusa Road. And we have a crash that just happened, Santa Fe Springs on the 5 at Paramount Boulevard off ramp. Well, summer officially begins this weekend. Mike was talking about it. If you are looking to refresh your wardrobe, and who isn't, this season's trends are blending sporty style because we have the World Cup here, European elegance because all the Europeans have come here, and a new familiar favorite, or a few familiar favorites making a bit of a comeback. And joining us now is one of our favorite people of the whole darn week, fashion expert Dawn Del Russo of livetheglamour.com to break down the biggest looks you'll be seeing everywhere this summer. Good morning. Welcome back, Dawn.
Morning, Ken. So
And,
nice
and
to
listen,
be here.
well, a big virtual hug. As we
I
begin the
know.
segment, I'm surprising you today because I brought something that was a combination of fashionista fame and science. Have you heard about the T-Rex purse?
No, I haven't.
Right. Pam, can you bring up the T-Rex purse if you have it there? So, and I'll tell you what this is about. This is apparently scientists found the bones of a T-Rex that had enough molecular information that they were able to reproduce collagen from an actual T-Rex dinosaur and grow skin. And from the skin, they tanned it and they made a purse, and they're going to auction it off for a
Mm.
$500,000. Yeah, bring it up, Pam. No.
No way. Those are
Keep
the
going, punch through
sunglasses.
everything.
That's
That's
the
the one
sport.
right there. That is made
And it
from
looks
a
amazing.
T-Rex. Can you imagine?
No, that is incredible. I can't believe I didn't know this. Now I have to.
Where would you
This
go with
this
that?
this this changes the whole day.
See, I knew you would love it. This was a breaker story last night. I'm sitting here at like 10:30. I'm like, Dawn's gonna love this. I was gonna give you a
Oh
heads up, and I
my.
said, nah, she's gonna. Isn't that
No,
cool?
I
I'll send
love
you a
it.
link to it.
Yeah, send me a link. That and it looks really nice. Like it looks
It's sharp looking.
like yeah, like a skin that you would get from a crocodile, anything like that. All the different type of skins
Right.
there are that people die for a handbag. So that's like
So for
incredible.
a $500,000, that too can be yours. There you go.
There you
So I
go.
will now bow to you. You have fascinating stuff happening. We have FIFA World Cup action going on, not only in the Northeast here, but it's all over the country. So what are some of the biggest fashion trends you're seeing now?
Yeah, so naturally because of that, it's bringing in the fashion because everybody has to like play on that a little bit. And the sporty styles are heavy right now. Everybody's looking, especially after the Knicks won last weekend, that too. So we have the jerseys and the joggers and all that type of style. American Eagle just collaborated with the Umbro. So those two came together. They made some really cool sporty clothes. And everyone's looking for that kind of more casual look. They're going to the games, they're having these experiences, so they want to like have that full look on. And I think that's what's really making that become a summer trend too, is because they're buying the jerseys and they're buying these outfits to wear to the games and to the different sports, and now they're saying, let me wear them out in the day. So we're seeing that trend heavy right now. It's really big, but I like it.
Let's
I think it's cool for summer.
Let's tell Pam to bring it up. Pam, bring up some of that, please. It was the first shot you had, the young lady in the soccer
Yeah,
jersey.
like
And if you have the right model, you could wear the dirtiest old wrinkled jersey, and it looks fantastic. I love this. I think Pam,
of
you just had it.
course.
There you go. Look at how cute she
Yeah,
looks in
yeah.
that. We're in
It is,
Brazil.
and they're
That's like the Brazil shirt.
And Brazil's playing here. It's funny because not to go totally off subject, but I was looking into where they're all playing. I thought it was so interesting because different countries are staying in different parts of the United States based
Mhm.
on where they're playing. So I don't know if that's going to have an influence too. The colors and the styles that each team kind of wears. You may see that, where more local to where you live. But we do have Brazil playing here, so I feel like that makes sense for the colors that they have. Another thing that we're seeing is like the whole Americana look, which also makes sense because it's 250 years that we're celebrating our country this year. So I think knowing that comes into play. A brand called Dairy Boy really plays heavily on that. A lot of the United States colors, flags. Every time this year, closer to 4th of July, we see that. But this summer, for some reason, everyone really wants that that feel. And I like it. I'm glad I'm glad that we're bringing, our country spirit back. I think these games are helping that too. So this brand is this Dairy Boy. They're really heavy on the American flag look. Love Shack Fancy is another one. They're doing a lot of American flags on sweaters, and they're bringing in, some fun sparkly looks too. So it's nice to see that we're getting in the spirit of our country for 4th of
Yeah.
July.
And you can mix
I
it up
love
too,
it.
because like my husband is wearing the FIFA World Cup America team shirt, which has the flag
Yeah.
in the dark blue. So just make sure you buy the official ones. Don't buy the knockoffs. If you're going to
Yeah.
do it, do the official one, right? And by the way, it's a beautiful fabric and it washes well. I mean, it's like whatever fabric they're using, you throw in the wash, pull it out, it's perfect. It looks like it's pressed.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
that's a good way to do it, to celebrate. Now, I happen to
It
love
is.
capri pants. I think they look sharp. It looks so summery and fun, and that's in right now, right?
That's another look. And all these stuff really blend well together. So you could wear one of the jerseys with the capri pants, but they kind of trickled in a little last year, and now we're seeing them everywhere. This is a great example of the look. And you can really wear them dressed up or dressed down. Some people are doing with heels to really dress them up. You can do them with a casual little sneaker. They look nice. Honestly, the little jersey, the capris, and a pair of sneakers are a fun way to maybe go to one of the games or do something more casual during the day with the capri pants. But they are coming back, which also a little bit ties into the Euro summer look, because Euro summer is everywhere.
Yeah.
People over the last few summers have been traveling, to Capri and to different parts of Italy, and now we're seeing a lot of like the south of France looks. So those looks are trickling into, and girls are wanting those more flowy dresses and fun looks. And like you said in the beginning, I do think that plays a role, because they're coming over here for the sport. They're bringing their trends and their looks here, so we're blending it all together. It's nice. I think being able to pull from
Uh-huh.
other countries is good.
And by the way, they're having a
Fun.
ball. Have you noticed they're having an absolute ball here? All the crazies of this country have been trying to tell the world, oh, it's horrible in the United States. Now they come here and they see, no, it's not so horrible. It's actually quite a nice country, and they're loving it. So it's so nice to see
I
that,
know.
refreshing. With the last minute
It
to go,
is.
we have butter yellow,
Mhm.
and that is, I'm seeing it on the streets. What a cool
Oh
color it
yeah.
is. We have some of the
It's a
video of
fun.
that too, Pam.
Yeah, and it's a happy color. I always say this. I'm like, what you wear really does matter, and makes how you feel. And yellow is that color. If there's any color that's going to make you feel good, it's going to be that yellow. And you can do it in different tones. So if your skin, you want to match or go by what your skin tone is, you want to do a little bit more of a coolness of a yellow, cool tone yellow, or a warmer yellow based on what your skin tone. But this is such a great look, and you can really pair it with a lot of different colors. I love pairing it. This is like a light blue that I have on. The brown, it looks great. And then to really finish it off, you could do nice big round sunglasses. Those always complete the look. They're on trend and a way to, get the newest accessory.
That is so cool. I think we have one shot of the round sunglasses before we go to a break here. Pam, you got to have that. It's like, I think it's the last one we had. Just to
I
oh,
saw it at
there
the
you go.
beginning. There it is.
Look at how cool they are.
They're
Those
fun.
are cool. And
Very.
just to add to the butter yellow is nice because it's yellow, it's bright, but it's not garish. It's very
Yeah,
elegant. It's so tasteful. Man, oh man. Well,
I
tell
agree.
everybody the
I agree.
website again, our favorite website for our favorite person here.
Yeah. livetheglamour.com, and like you always say, with an OUR, and all this will be on there too. So if you ever want to check it out and find some links to stuff, I have it there.
It's a great website. I happen to love your website. I've been wearing less PJs out in public because I go on your website. I see what I can wear for the day. It's a good thing. You don't want to see me in PJs in public. That's when the police lock me up. Don Del
Oh,
Russo,
no.
livetheglamour.com. That's glamour with an OUR. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on this morning. Have a great day.
Thanks, Ken. Love you all too.
All right, take care. And it's coming up at the top of the hour for those of you watching on LACA on the West Coast. Stay tuned for your local news. If you're watching on New Jersey, ONNJ, we'll be back with news, traffic, weather, and opinion for the Garden State. Thanks for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. Back in 2. Very good morning, 8:02, Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Welcome to On New Jersey Mornings. I'm Ken Rosato, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to our good friend, meteorologist Mike Favetta, with the full Garden State forecast and an increase in Elsticitude. I don't know if you know what that means.
Yeah. No, it's going to feel really warm and humid later today. Already starting the morning with a little bit of dew and temperatures warming into the upper 60s and low 70s right now. The cool spot up in Sussex at 57. We're about 2 to 5 degrees warmer than this time yesterday, but it's that humidity that is really starting to surge in, especially up the coast. You see those dew points, or the temperature where the air is saturated, in the 60s. That's approaching Florida levels of humidity, like North Florida levels. We get to Miami levels of humidity by tomorrow afternoon. It comes with a warm front that arrives with some clouds later today. And as far as temperatures go, yeah, we warm into the upper 70s and low 80s with a few passing storms this afternoon, none of which should be severe. They just kind of add to the steamy feel throughout the rest of the day. Then by tonight, that's where the muggy weather settles in, and it feels very warm into tomorrow with some storms throughout the afternoon. Highs up around 90. Could feel like the upper 90s with the heat index. Drier on Friday and beautifully dry on Saturday. We'll give you the rest of that weekend forecast, Ken, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate you, sir. 58 degrees down northern New Jersey, 65 already in Trenton. So might be getting a little breeze in northern New Jersey right now, or the sun is a little filtered here, whereas it's not as much in Trenton. And then we have 60 right now in Cape May, and it's 60 degrees also in Vineland at 8:04. In terms of traffic, just a couple of things to tell you about. New Jersey Turnpike Eastern Spur crash. This is northbound, north of interchange 15W, I-280 in Kearney. You can see the result on your screen there right now. The left lane is blocked, and that's causing a slowdown for about 2 miles. Goethals Bridge, disabled vehicle, eastbound Midspan and Elizabeth. The right lane is blocked. And your Hudson River crossings right now, Lincoln and Holland, both costing you 35 minutes. GWB upper and lower levels, moving but slow. It's backed up actually about 1.5 to 2 miles before the span. So that'll cost you a solid 45 to 60 making your way in. It is 8:05, and you know him as one of the stars of Impractical Jokers, but James Murray is also helping bring a unique family-friendly attraction to New Jersey this summer. Following the success of last year's holiday event, Pacific Southern Railway is launching its first ever summer train show, featuring model trains, exhibits, and activities for train enthusiasts of all ages. It all begins this Saturday, June 20th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. in Rocky Hill. And joining us now is comedian and our friend, James Murray, to tell us all about it.
Good morning again. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, man. Now you got that energy. Now we're going. We've been
I miss you. I feel like I legit feel like we're friends. I really do. Like we should hang out, get some pizza. I don't know.
I'm telling you, man. Listen, I'll make the pizza. We used to have a pizzeria, so we'll take care of it. Jersey Italians. Oh yeah, for real. Jersey Italians. We all know it. We're born making pizza. Let's put it that way.
I was actually conceived while my mom was making pizza.
That too. Tell us about the summer trade show and how this event all came together.
So about a year and a half ago, my wife and I had heard about Pacific Southern Railway, which is literally one of the gems of New Jersey, right? It's a hidden treasure. It's a model railroad club that has been being built since like the 50s. Like they bought the house in 1950 and started building their model trains, and the club started in 1964. And so for decades, this club of professional model railroaders have been building one of the most amazing layouts you'll ever see. So if you love model trains from your childhood, this is like next level. They've got like 12,000 square feet of hand-laid track. It's built in the basement and it's then of this home in Rocky Hill, New Jersey, and it's bigger than the home. They actually knocked out a foundation wall and kept going under the lawn, right? So about a year and a half ago, sadly, the former owner of the house passed away, and so the club was going to lose their home. So the night before it went up for sale, and they were going to lose their model railroad club, my wife and I bought the house to save the club. And so it's just a really great, the organization is a nonprofit. They donate all the proceeds to fire and EMT services in New Jersey for decades now. And so we're doing our first ever summer train show this Saturday, Father's Day Saturday, this Saturday. You come to our property, hang out with my wife and I, meet the club. There'll be so much the whole property is open to the public. So you get to bring a blanket and listen to music on the lawn. We got a band playing all day, playing some of my favorite music from all decades. We've got food truck, a beer truck. We've got snow cone truck. There's balloon animals, face paint for kids. There's my childhood trains are set up as well running. The 4-H club in Somerset has their trains running. You can build your own model train set for free. It's part of the admission. And kids under 10 are free, and it's $10 a ticket. And all proceeds go to fire and EMT. It's you can go to summertrainshow.com to get tickets. It's gonna be wild. And the weather's perfect, Ken.
Yes, yeah. Well, Mike will take care of that for us. He'll make sure of that. Mert, tell me, what is it about model trains that everybody is just fascinated by it? Is it the mechanics, seeing all the parts together working, and it seems to me that, like, no matter who you are or what you're into, you will stop and look at model trains.
I think it's two different things. There's a generation like us that did not grow up with cell phones or tablets or what have you. And for us, it was amazing. We loved it, right? But now, I think the reason kids love it now is because so much of their life is consumed by this or by a tablet. And to see something tactile and real and just is endless with imagination. And that you could go down to Pacific Southern Railway and you could go down 100 times and see 100 different things because there's tens of thousands of little scenes and vignettes and action going on. It's so tactile and real and imaginative. I think that appeals to something innate in all of us, you know?
And from a very philosophical uh, process there, through a philosophical process, that literally is the reason why America is, or a good chunk of why America advanced to what it is at the rate that it did, because the railway helped. Everybody else in the world was using canals, digging canals and bringing barges full of stuff to get goods inland throughout Europe. Meanwhile, we were like, we could do this better, and laid track, and that helped America expand the way it did. And I don't think enough people really realize that right there is why we have the country we have, with the population we have in inland cities. And I mean, it just changed this country. So the
Absolutely.
decision, right?
Now, if we could
Go
just
ahead.
get the New Jersey Transit to run better on time and more on time, now we're talking, you know?
You
It
got
would
to
take
get them
two
down
and a half
there.
hours to
Get
get to
them down there
work,
and show
man.
them how it's done.
I'm
That's
filming I'm
amazing.
filming season 13 of Jokers right now. It takes me over 2 hours to get them in ad. Come on, New Jersey Transit. Get it
My
together.
God. I love it. But the fact that you and your wife did what you did and bought the house and made it a charitable thing, this is real Americana. And you really make yourself, this is like no matter who you are, no matter where you are politically, come together. You're a New Jersey resident, have a good time. Whether you are young or old, that is something that you will love. And what a great, fun, innocent activity for everybody to get together and do.
It's gonna be a great day. Perfect weather. Spend the whole day at our house and just have some good food, see the trains, and it's going to be so much fun. So go to summertrainshow.com to get tickets. I will be there all day, as will be my wife, and you get to meet the club and see one of New Jersey's true hidden gems.
How many people usually come through in a typical day? And what are the normal hours? Like, when is it normally open, other than that day? Is it just
It's
specific
not
time?
it's not open to the public. It's a private members club, you know. So we open it. We typically the club opens once a year for the holidays, right? So we did a weekend last year in November where we had 1,500 people came through. It was wild. And we're only doing a 1 day event this year for Summerfest. It's the first time we're ever doing a summer train show, and it'll be sold out. So, but you can still walk up and get tickets, even if you don't get one online. You can still walk up the driveway, and we'll make sure you get in.
And it's summertrainshow.com if you want to get
That's
tickets online. Summertrainshow.com. The first ever Pacific Southern Railway Summer Train Show kicking off this Saturday, June 10th, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Rocky Hill, comedian James Murray. So fun. And it's such an honor to have you on. Thank you so much. May it be just a blowout, wonderful, fun weekend for you.
You got it, buddy. Get to work on that pizza, okay? I'll be over at 7.
I'll bring them. Listen, you let me know when you want me to bring them by. I still make them. I got a pizza oven. I'll do it.
Sounds good, buddy.
Have a great day. Thank you,
You
Mur.
too. Take
All
care.
right. What a good man. Good man. Hey, when we come back, we have more and more companies packing up and leaving New Jersey for states that are friendlier to business. We have to stop this from happening. We're going to speak with a New Jersey corporate leader about it and what we could do about it to change it, because New Jersey is a great place. We just have to make it more business friendly. We'll talk with meteorologist Mike Favetta, too, about the weather for the region, for the tri-state. And we'll take your calls at 888-658-0234, 888-658-0234. You're watching On New Jersey Mornings. Do not go away. We're back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Ken Rosato at 8:15, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta with the full Garden State forecast. Il forecast dello stato di giardino. There, try
That
it.
works.
Okay.
That works. That works.
It doesn't make any sense, but it's the direct translation.
Hey, we've got great weather today. Whatever your language, you look outside and you go, all right, it's pretty nice outside. And with that, we start off the rest of spring, the last few days of spring, with some pleasant weather. Summer arrives on Sunday, and with that, it'll bring some warm weather, some drier air. Today, though, the humidity a bit higher, and you can thank that for the southwesterly breeze, bringing in more of that muggy weather when these dew points hit the 70s, like they will tomorrow. It will be like South Florida humidity, very muggy around, and even into the end of the day, into Friday, we see that dry weather less. So it's only a one-day humid feel. Then we go back to the pleasant weather for Saturday and Sunday with that comfortable air in place. Temperatures warm into the 80s this weekend, and the heat index tomorrow climbing into the 90s as soon as 11 a.m. It gets really warm in a hurry, and then by the end of the day on Saturday, nice and dry, and stays more comfortable into the end of the week. So with the UV index today back up at an 8, which is very high, get to about 10 this time of year on the scale. Notice all of these storms off to the west, probably making their way across northern New Jersey by the end of the day, but we get a better chance of storms tomorrow. So we'll zoom in. You see that through the end of this afternoon. Passing pop-up shower, better chance of that tomorrow afternoon, those arriving, maybe even a more of a severe threat by the end of the day. And then the drier weather settles in for Friday. A few passing clouds, temperatures in the upper 70s and low 80s for Friday. Saturday, even more beautiful with that westerly breeze drying us out and making it feel quite comfortable by the end of the weekend. Then into Sunday night and Monday, that's our next chance for some rain, a good soaking into Monday morning, but I think it clears by Tuesday. We have dry weather on the way for the rest of next week at least, and it'll feel comfortable. Starting off summer on the right note, 84 and sunny with that low humidity. First day of summer arriving early in the morning, even before sunrise, Sunday morning, Ken.
Right, sir. Thank you very much. Temp of 58 degrees northern New Jersey right now. We have a temp of 65 in Trenton. It is 59 degrees in Cape May and 60 degrees in Vineland. We look at the traffic. And on the Garden State Parkway, there's a crash at a report southbound south of the James Gandolfini service area, Montvale. That's up in the northern part of the state near Rockland County. All lanes are currently open, but you can see the slowdown and the volume build up right there. Route 17, disabled truck to report northbound. This is north of Century Road in Paramus with the left lane of 3 lanes closed, just causing a little bit of a buildup of traffic, as you can see. At least it is still moving, but it's down to about 10 miles an hour. On the Turnpike Eastern Spur, we have a crash right now, northbound north of interchange 15 WI 280 in Kearney. Left lane is blocked there, and we have a crash in another part of the Garden State Parkway southbound, north of exit 136 Stiles Street, Cranford, with all lanes open again, just a slowdown. Route 10, we have a crash eastbound Whippany Road in Hanover, left lane closed there. And back to the Garden State Parkway, back to a different location. Southbound, we have an accident now just north of exit 144. Your Hudson River crossings, your approach to the Lincoln Tunnel is a bit of a buildup. It goes all the way back by the New Jersey Turnpike interchange by Route 3. And you could see, wow, this is a different camera shot right there, Columbia Avenue. We're looking at the this is the eastbound, east facing. No, I'm wrong. I'm just the opposite. It's the west facing. So they're coming east. It's the west facing shot. So you can see this is built up to about 2.5 miles behind the helix, and that's going to cost you a solid 45 to 50 minutes in. The Holland Tunnel approach, 139 coming off of I-78. We don't have the camera shot today for that, but that is right now 35 to 40 minutes in. And the GWB has been a mess all morning, 8095 approach. The upper level is going to be on the left and the lower on the right this morning. And you can see from this angle that right there is about 2 miles behind the bridge. And that's already heavy. So that's going to cost you nearly an hour. Just an absolute mess of traffic getting into Manhattan today. 819 of the Garden State's business climate is back in the spotlight following the relocation of major corporate operations, including Samsung's decision to move their U.S. headquarters from Englewood Cliffs to Texas. So what do moves like this mean for New Jersey's economy, workforce, and the ability to compete for future investment? Well, joining us now is somebody who knows darn well, John Boyd Jr., principal of corporate site selection consultancy for the Boyd Company, to discuss the opportunities and the challenges facing the Garden State in today's extremely competitive business landscape. Good morning to you. Good to have you on.
Morning, Ken. It's great to be with you.
You bet. Likewise. And how significant is this move for Samsung from an economic development perspective?
It's very significant. I mean, the economic impact of losing a Fortune 500 company like Samsung is very pronounced for New Jersey. You're talking about several hundred high-paying jobs. That's tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars of payroll over the next decade that will not be spent in New Jersey. That's payroll that will be spent in Texas. And it's just the latest in a long number of high-profile corporate headquarter relocations out of the Garden State over the past decade, going back to Hertz, Mercedes, Honeywell, Dun & Bradstreet. Okay, you had the Exxon Mobil legal domicile relocation. That didn't represent brick and mortar real estate and jobs, but it represented just the impact of a negative legal climate to businesses that need to be competitive in a global economy. So you look at all that, and here's a quick stat you may find interesting. In 1990, New Jersey was home to 26 Fortune 500 headquarters. In 2010, the number shrank to 21. Today, we're at 15.
Wow, nearly half. I mean, we're talking also a follow the leader thing. When you're known as the place where all the corporate heads go, then you want to build your company there. But when you're known as a place where the corporate heads are leaving, if you're a new up and coming major corporation, why would you want to locate where everybody else is leaving, right? So it doesn't that also taint us in a certain way when you see companies like this leaving?
Right. So you have new centers of power emerging in the corporate sector, new Wall Streets, new high-tech clusters, Miami, Nashville, Dallas. Okay, these are markets that have lower cost of business, lower tax rates, improved schools. Okay, so the lifestyle advantages that are necessary for major companies to attract and retain the best workers. But for every high-profile corporate headquarter relocation, there are dozens of companies that are scaling in lower cost, lower tax markets. Think about companies like GlaxoSmithKline or Johnson & Johnson that are scaling in Florida, North Carolina or Pennsylvania. Okay. Or think about what we term in our business as opportunity costs. Global companies that never even consider New Jersey for a new project because of the high taxes, the high business costs, and the perceptions of the state being anti-business.
Yeah, you have the very populist scream of, yeah, tax the rich, tax the big ugly companies. This is providing the mother's milk for the state of New Jersey. This is providing the jobs, the taxes that finance the schools, the money that comes in so that the local corner store exists. It's easy and ugly for a politician to chant, we have to get the money from the big corporations. That's an easy and lazy thing to do, to run for office and try to get elected on that. And then when you see them say, hey, you know what, in this digital economy today, I don't have to be here. I could move to Guam and still run my company. Why the hell should I be here and you take 80% of our money? So do you think that politicians will eventually wake up? Because if you look at all the states where there's a friendly business climate, they're growing exponentially, as you mentioned, Texas, Florida, Tennessee. There are now more people in the finance industry in Dallas than there are in Manhattan. That should be a wake up call of all wake up calls, but yet they elected a Democratic socialist. Does this make any sense?
I love that you said this. The key here is linking the outmigration of corporate investment and corporate jobs with the affordability crisis. Right? Losing hundreds of millions of dollars of taxable income shifts income tax and sales tax burdens to hardworking New Jerseyans. When major office tenants like Samsung or Honeywell relocate, it creates weak and distressed office markets. What does that do? It lowers lease rates, it lowers appraisals of suburban office campuses. What does that do? It shifts property tax burdens to middle class to working class New Jerseyans. So I think the key is for policymakers to really link this idea of improving the business climate as being consistent with helping New Jerseyans meet the affordability challenges. It's about growing the economy and being affordable, not just for workers, but also for businesses.
And John, New Jersey, of course, the one great thing that we have, the fact that we have great people in this state, et cetera, but we are right in just the epicenter of what should be the best consumer market in the country. You have the number one market to the east northeast and the number 4 or 5 market to the west. We should be the place that everyone on the planet wants to locate to. If you can't keep business here, you have no idea what you're doing. You have no business in politics. But again, the people, how do you educate the population to understand that?
Well, that's why I'm optimistic. I mean, New Jersey can turn this thing around quickly, but it's going to take some real heavy lifting, tax cuts, pro-business energy policy to make energy more affordable for businesses and for residents. You look at the success that Connecticut and Pennsylvania have had, okay, growing their economies by tax cuts and an all of the above approach to energy. I like some of the things the new governor is doing with respect to expediting permitting and lifting the moratorium on nuclear. I think the SMR industry presents enormous economic development opportunity for New Jersey, but tax cuts are necessary. And look, there's a live, work, play dynamic that's really behind every major corporate site selection decision today. And that's a battleground New Jersey has historically competed very well on and should moving forward. Think about the beaches, the great schools, the cluster of world-class universities, proximity to New York and to Manhattan, and obviously Philadelphia. But the other part there, Ken, I think you'll find this interesting. You know, they asked Seinfeld to boil down the genius of the show into one word. And he said, connect. He said, nothing. It's a show about nothing. Okay. If you were to boil down the winning ingredient for major markets that are winning the battle for corporate investment and jobs, it's one word. It's connectivity. Okay. New Jersey uniquely connected to the global marketplace. Okay. So we can turn this thing around quick, but it will take real policy reform like tax cuts, energy policy reform, and expediting permitting to create more housing opportunities for New Jerseyans.
Yeah, because for a lot of other markets, they have to build an infrastructure. They have to have education, the colleges, they have to have the buildings, the roads. We have it all. We have it all. It's like literally, you want to make a soup. Here's all the ingredients. There's your salt, there's your chicken, we got it all here. But it's like we've been pulling the stuff out of the pot instead of putting it in. So it's just ridiculous that you still have people just not thinking. And you're right. Governor Sherrill deserves credit where credit is due. The biggest expense for many businesses is energy. And the fact that she is now saying, let's take a look at nuclear once again, we have to re-examine this, that could change the whole game for us. We got to have you on again, John. It is you're a brilliant business mind, obviously one of the more powerful and brilliant people in the state for this. Give everybody a website for your company.
You can visit us at theboydcompany.com, and you can also check us out on Twitter. The handle is The Boyd Company.
John Boyd Jr., Principal of Corporate Site Selection Consultancy for the Boyd Company. It is an honor to have you on, sir. Thank you so much.
You can.
You bet. And it is currently, where is our temperature? 60 degrees at 8:28 when we come back. What role does nutrition play between physical health and mental well-being? Excuse me as I press one button here. We're going to talk with an expert about that. It is essential to make sure that you have the right nutrition if you want to have the right mind. You're watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. We're back in 2 minutes. Very good morning to you. It is 60 degrees right now. Wednesday, June 17th, 2026, 8:30 is our time. Ken Rosato here, back on New Jersey Mornings. Straight to meteorologist Mike Favetta, find out what the next few days are going to look like, and maybe we'll get a sneak peek at Father's Day. Good morning to you, Mike.
Little bit. Good morning to you, Ken. I just got to reset the camera. I forgot to do that at the top. So give me
All right.
one
Here, let
second.
me tap dance. Let me do my juggling act.
And we're back. See,
There
that's
we
simple.
go.
That's simple. Okay.
Very good. It's a good thing because I don't have real balls that I'm juggling with. It's just sort of the ones in my head. I'll go get more coffee. Take care.
You might see people juggling on the sidewalk today or down the shore, right? Because so many folks heading to the beach on a day like today, especially with the clear sky, the low humidity. At the waterfront, you might notice a little bit more of a muggier scene, and that's the case this morning, especially down the shore with that breeze coming in from the south and west. And right now, it's coming off of the water, but eventually see that wind shift. It's keeping a lot of the pollen around, especially for the weeds. The tree season pretty much done. Grasses, they're a little bit higher, but the weeds level of pollen tend to be a little bit higher toward the beginning of summer, and here we are, especially as we head into this afternoon. Not setting any temperature records today. Last time it was 98 degrees on this date was back in 1952, but plan on some more clouds throughout the afternoon, with that maybe a passing shower or sprinkle. Heading toward the waterfront, the beach temperatures are lovely, water temperatures warming in through the upper 60s, and no severe weather today, but tomorrow there's that slight risk of severe weather. That's why the state is covered in that yellow shade. That's level 2 of 5. Could see some gusty winds, maybe some small hail, and even some thunder and lightning as well. As we head to the weekend, though, look at how the rain threat drops off dramatically. We are dry all this weekend. After that, rain chance is on Monday. So we look ahead to a few passing showers today, but the best chance of some severe weather is tomorrow afternoon. That's ahead of the cold front. With that, we're nice and dry into Friday and the weekend. Beautiful weather upcoming for Saturday and Sunday. Another A-plus weekend weather-wise. It looks really pretty, especially with low humidity. And then Sunday night into Monday is when our next weather system moves in, and that's what gives us our rain going into Monday. So the weather looks beautiful up until Sunday evening. Monday, I think we see some rain late Sunday night and lasting into Monday, so looks to be a pretty wet day, but it clears out nicely by Tuesday. Even the shore points look beautiful this weekend. Look at that. 83 and 90 on Sunday down the shore. Just a perfect weather for any pool or beach or outdoor activities. Really pretty stuff on the weekend.
Nice. Mike, your transition from one graphic to the next, it almost looked like snowflakes, but Pam tells me it's flowers. Is that right?
Yes, those are the springtime flower cherry blossoms that are falling. I changed them seasonally, so the next time you'll see the summer graphics with all the splashing and the beach stuff, that's on next week.
I thought I was crazy for a second. I said, "Are those
No,
snowflakes?" He
no,
can't be
They're
using snowflakes.
they're little cherry blossoms.
Love it. Very nice. Look at you, Mr. Artiste. All right,
I try.
Mike.
You bet.
Thank you. You succeed. 59 degrees now, northern New Jersey, 65 degrees in Trenton. It's 58 degrees in Cape May and 60 in Vineland. We check traffic. Let's go to the Garden State Parkway, shall we? There's a crash, GSP southbound north of exit 136 Stiles Street, Cranford. All lanes open. Just literally, Pam, how long ago was that stopped? 30 seconds? 30 seconds ago, it was bumper to bumper, especially in the middle lane. So they must have just opened that up. Trust us. I would not fib to you about that. We were all excited because we had this shot for you, and boom. All right, good. Glad that folks aren't stuck in traffic. There is another issue on the Garden State that I'll tell you about now. It's a crash southbound south of the James Gandolfini service area in Montvale. That's up toward Rockland County. All lanes are open, just a lot of delays from the volume now. We have a crash now. Let's go to Route 10, eastbound by Whippany Road in Hallover. The left lane of 2 lanes closed. That's causing a bit of a backup. You can see there, wow, that is quite a bit of a backup now. That's, again, Route 10, Hallover by Stiles Street. And we have an issue, crash on the Turnpike Eastern Spur northbound, north of interchange 15 WI-280 in Kearney. All lanes are open. Hudson River crossings, the approach to the Holland Tunnel. We don't have a camera shot for you today. It's out of service, but that is very heavy, 40 minutes for the Holland. That's pretty bad. The Lincoln Tunnel, also pretty heavy, 40 to 45 this morning. You could see that approach to the Helix as people make their way eastbound to New York City. And your approach to the GWB has been a mess all morning long. In fact, the upper and lower levels extremely heavy, 45 to 60 minutes. Upper level is on the left side, lower level on the right. This is a different camera angle today than what we normally show you. Well, we often hear about the connection between physical health and mental well-being, but what role does nutrition play in that equation? Well, Lauren Dorman is the founder of Schools Master Food and Mood, an organization focused on helping students, educators, and families better understand the relationship between what we eat and how we feel. And she's with us today to talk about her mission and how her programs are helping schools prioritize both nutrition and mental health. And first, we say good morning. Good to have you on.
Good morning. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Ken.
It was great to have you on. And I was shocked a few years ago when I first read on how if you don't have enough probiotic, good gut bacteria, how that can impact your mood and your thought process. I'm thinking, my goodness, how does that happen? But that alone, that's where it starts, right? So you need prebiotic, probiotic, all that stuff. And we're eating processed foods. It's killing our gut flora. Isn't that true?
So, what I actually work on is beyond the plate. I work on the plate as well. But as a registered dietitian, working with children and families and educators and students for the last 23 years, what I found is it's not only about the what is on the plate, it's about how and why are we eating. Are we eating with curiosity, with flexibility, or are we eating from a place of fear and guilt? So, when students and adolescents are receiving these messages that are really, some of them are very harmful on social media, it's more about what is social media really feeding them?
And you have, unfortunately, these images, many of which are doctored on social media, showing
Mhm.
the quote unquote ideal, or the thought of what the ideal look is, whether it be the face or the body or the
Mhm.
slacks or the and
Yes,
so young
yes.
people have this idea, right? They have to conform. They feel like they have to conform, or else they'll be outcast. And then what ends up happening?
Exactly. So, what the research is showing right now is 1 in every 5 child or adolescent is struggling with some type of disordered eating. 75% of children do not dislike their bodies. And a lot of information on social media is inaccurate, about 98% done by a research of 67,000 studies. So, what I come in and I provide is this live, entertaining, interactive experience for both educators and students. So, it's a whole school approach. And what's happening inside is we're learning about nutrition, mental health, body image, and also the impacts of social media. And I do not want to allow influencers to have the final say in our children's mental, physical, and emotional health.
So, what age you think is it necessary to let kids know that social media is not
Mhm,
reality? When should you?
mhm.
When is a child old enough to grasp that concept that they
Yeah,
shouldn't
I
just
think about
pretend?
thanks, Ken. I think about third, fourth grade would be a great
Mm.
start. Most of my work and my team's work is done with fifth grade through college, but we also do have elementary age programs. And they're really learning about food exploring and senses and smell. We want them to get more variety in their diets. I teach them this amazing power snack plate and how to get their strength and their energy and their color and their brain power. So we're making it really fun and flexible and not this place of anxiety. So many children are struggling right now with food and body anxiety. And when I mean, I can't get those numbers, I can't get the statistics down to zero, but what I can promise and what I know for a fact is when I work with youth organizations or with school programs, the numbers will lower. And I've seen that with data and evidence.
And Lauren, in terms of the presentation of our food, the way it's sold to us, the way it's presented to us in markets, et cetera. When I visit relatives in Europe, I remember just going to open air markets and shopping each day. And it is common. I'm looking for a fruit here or something, but I don't have one on my desk. It is sometimes I do. It is common to pick up an apple or pick up a vegetable and smell it, and take a break and taste it. And you see
Mhm,
all these beautiful colors and these fresh. And by the way, the fruits and vegetables are on display in full reality, blemishes and all. But that's real food, and it's in front of
mhm,
you. And
mhm,
that's how it's just a different approach to food. Whereas in our markets, it has to look a certain way. It's prepackaged in a sterile wrap,
mhm.
and it just seems like a whole different approach to what food is and its relationship to us. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. And I think that exposing, exploring, practicing, teaching kids that, especially in elementary and middle school, even high school, but teaching them that learning to eat new foods is a skill, just like any skill, right? Learning to read, learning to ride a bike, learning to tie their shoe, learning math skills. You can become capable of it if you want to and you set your mind to it and you prioritize taking care of your mind and your body.
So, Lauren, talk about the kind of training that your program does. Do you go into schools and say, "Hey, this is X, Y, and Z. This is the approach we should have. This is how you
Yeah.
should view social media." Talk about that for us.
Yeah, so I actually don't tell anyone that I work with what they have to do, what they need to do, or what they should do. Instead, I've designed custom roadmaps. So each educator or student is designing their own roadmap to their own strength and their own nourishment. Because really, what it comes down to is trusting yourself more than trusting what's out there and navigating through all of the noise and the influence. So we go through step by step these skills. I bring in music, I bring in prizes, it's entertaining. And most of my audience feels extremely inspired to take action when they walk away from that engaging uh, experience, that live experience that, I designed for my one-on-one private clients, and now I bring that into the schools.
That's just fantastic. Tell everybody a website so they can get more information and contact you.
Sure. Sure, it's Lauren Dorman, RD, as in registered dietitian.com. And just click on schools, and then there's all information there that you can find.
I love it. It is an organization focused on helping students, educators, and families better understand the relationship between what we eat and how we feel. And I think you're probably the only human being doing it, and it's a good thing. Lauren Dorman,
Thank
founder of
you.
Schools Master Food and Mood. Thank you for coming on this morning. Great deal.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
You bet. It is now 63 degrees at 8:43, and when we come back, our friends at AARP New Jersey will bring us a segment on how to navigate changes in the SNAP and Medicaid programs as we speak with the Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Human Services, Dr. Stephen Cha. We're coming back in 2 minutes. Welcome back to On New Jersey Mornings. Ken Rosato at 8:45, taking calls at 888-658-0234. Straight to our Father's Day father, meteorologist Mike Favetta, who's thinking ahead already to breakfast in bed, sleeping late. Because, around his home is always just
Sleeping late.
peaceful,
What do you mean,
quiet.
7:30? That's sleeping late in this household.
Quiet.
7:30.
There's not a noise in the house ever.
Nope.
He just
Nope.
he has the servants
Uh-huh.
come in and massage his feet and his neck, and he stays there. And Steph just gets to have a pedicure and a manicure every day, and there are no little ones around screaming and crying.
You mean getting
Never.
kicked in the spine and the side and the gut by a foot that's about this big? And those toes, they leave black and blue marks up and down your legs. I don't know. These kids are like designed for climbing, I guess. Anyway, but that's the reality. That's the reality. Looking for childcare would be a Father's Day gift. Just give me like 3 hours. Give me 3 hours in the
3
morning.
hours, that's all you ask. I love it.
And yet, here we go with a beautiful Father's Day forecast ahead. You're going to love this weather. It stays very pleasant throughout Saturday and Sunday. Even though the drought is pretty persistent, that rain deficit just keeps growing, especially in northern New Jersey, where the severe drought extends up through Bergen County and all the way into Morris County. That dry weather. We'll get a little bit of a break today because we get some passing thunder showers this afternoon, but the severe weather comes in tomorrow. Today's rain is just a general run-of-the-mill, occasional 20-minute passing shower, and then it moves on by. So anticipate a lot of sun, but also warm weather with that humidity on the rise. And the warmth really kind of concentrates down to the southeast and out west for the next 2 weeks. It's the warm weather here in New Jersey that we get for today and tomorrow. And then it kind of trails off into the weekend with temperatures holding their average highs in the low 80s. This is beautiful and on point for the first few days of summer. Storms on the way for Monday. That's a good soaking rain. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday, we dry out and keep it just warm. It's the shore points and the beaches that will reach 90 on Sunday. That will feel lovely before the rain comes in on Monday. And then pleasant weather continues, Ken, into next week.
Thank you very, very much. Appreciate it, Mike. And we will see you mañana. It is 61 degrees. Mike. The man, I don't know how he functions because he gets about 16 minutes of sleep a day. He and Steph, his wife, God bless them both with the little ones. It is 61 degrees right now, northern New Jersey, 65 in Trenton, 59 degrees Cape May, and 62 degrees in Vineland. In terms of traffic, let's go to Route 10. We have a crash on Route 10 eastbound Whippany Road in Hanover Township. The left lane of 2 lanes closed, and that's caused about 2 to 3 miles of delays, as you can see right there. Just real ugly on Route 10 right now. A couple of other incidents. We have a crash on 73 northbound by Fellowship Road, Mount Laurel. The left lane is closed there. New Jersey Turnpike, we have a crash on the Eastern Spur northbound north of interchange 15W, which is I-280 in Kearney. All lanes are open, but just a lot of delays. And 2 problems now in the Garden State. One is at the southbound, south of the James Gandolfini service area, Montvale. All lanes are open, though. And then there is still a crash being cleared southbound north of exit 136, Stiles Street, Cranford. All lanes are open there. Hudson River crossings, Lincoln and Holland, both about 35 to 40. And right now, GWB is 45 to 60. Making your way on 8095. We'll show you the back shot there. Your upper level is a little bit better on the left than the lower, but either way, that's about 2.5 miles before the bridge where that shot is. So the fact that it's built up there says a lot. It is 8:49, and the following is brought to you by our good friends at AARP New Jersey. Medicaid and SNAP benefits are critical resources for so many families across New Jersey. But with recent updates and changes, many residents may have questions about what these changes mean for them and what steps they need to take to maintain coverage and benefits. Dr. Stephen Cha is Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Human Services. We say good morning to you, Dr. Cha.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Nice to have you on, sir. And there are major changes happening now with Medicaid this year. So explain what those changes are, please.
Sure. So just backing up, about 1.85 million New Jersey residents are enrolled in NJ Family Care, which is our New Jersey version of Medicaid. Now, about 30% of those New Jersey residents, about 540,000, got coverage for the Affordable Care expansion, and that's exciting and fantastic. Those folks, however, will be subject to new eligibility requirements under what we call H.R. 1, the budget bill that was passed by Congress last year. So this budget bill creates new requirements for all those people, all those 540,000 people. We're worried, and some people have projected that we may lose as many as 330,000 New Jerseyans who could lose NJ Family Care due to these new federal burdens. And we're really concerned about that and trying to work with folks to make sure folks are tracking on that.
And for folks who may not understand what H.R. 1 was, under the Trump administration, there was some Medicaid fraud in pockets of the country. And unfortunately, because of a few people who were the bad guys, the good people who desperately need Medicaid now may slip through the cracks. And that's what stinks. These people desperately need Medicaid, and they may go to get health coverage in an emergency and find out, oh, you're no longer eligible. So what is it that every few months they have to kind of renew again and kind of reprove that they need to stay on Medicaid?
That's exactly right. And so just to be clear, a lot of these changes don't start for some time. So we have time. This isn't a tomorrow thing. Most of these changes start to take effect. Certain undocumented immigrant populations start to lose coverage in October of this year. The bigger changes start in January of next year. But we want to be sure that people are understanding what's happening and what we're doing now in partnership to be sure people can tackle some of these challenges. Just as you said, we're going to have more federal burdens. They're going to have to prove that they're working, what they call community engagement requirements. And it's going to happen every 6 months. Most people are used to doing this every year. For that 540,000 who got coverage through the Affordable Care Act, that 30%, you're going to have to do it every 6 months starting in January. So it's good to begin the conversation now about what that's going to mean.
So your team is active right now in helping residents navigate the updates and make sure that people don't accidentally lose coverage, because you don't want to be in a catastrophic accident, find out you're not covered.
That's exactly right. So the governor's budget, which is before the legislature now, invests in systems and partnerships to prevent these unnecessary coverage losses. And I should be clear that those folks who are going to lose coverage, that 330,000 New Jerseyans that I talked about, the vast majority of them are still eligible. They're still eligible for coverage. It's just that they're not going to get through all the paperwork hurdles and burdens that are now put upon them because of that HR 1 bill that was passed. So the governor's budget puts about 10 million more to strengthen the coordination amongst state agencies and counties. And counties are the front door for a lot of these benefits. To invest in some vendors to help us modernize our systems. And it also includes 71 million, because one of the other things the bill did was just remove money from the administrative cost for the SNAP, the nutrition benefits. So the governor's budget puts 71 million to support those county agencies, again, because they are our front door for both nutrition and health benefits to get people access. So we're just trying to focus for the rest of the year to make our systems work better, to take these investments in both county partnerships and our vendors and make this work better for people. We want all eligible residents to stay on the program as much as we can.
Sadly, so many people who are on Medicaid are the very people who are unable to get the mail, read the mail, figure out multiple pages of complex forms, fill them out, get it. Those are the people that need the help the most. And unfortunately, they're the ones we're obviously most concerned about. But what should people do if they get that renewal paperwork or notice in the mail? What's the first thing they need to do?
Yeah, so we're going to be reaching out to contact all of our beneficiaries by fall 2026 of this year with more information. And again, for 70% of our beneficiaries, don't need to do a thing. Don't worry, relax. For those people who got coverage through the ACA, there's a bunch of hoops and hurdles that you have to go through, and we'll be giving you more information if those changes apply to you. But yeah, I got to say, it is hard to track mail, and we understand that's challenging. We'll have customer service lines open. We're already talking to community partners and trying to think about how we can get those messages out, talking to our providers and hospitals. But watch for your letters, emails, text. Make sure your contact information is up to date, and be sure you open and respond to all that mail as soon as possible. We're starting to send some of those alerts out now just to get people prepared, but we do have some months before people really need to take action.
Yeah, for people who don't realize, Medicaid is almost half the budget. And not just this state, but most states around the country. Medicaid is huge because healthcare is so expensive. We kind of started to deal with it in the last couple of decades, and we kind of dropped the ball. And this is still a major problem. Doctor, if people have questions or need help with Medicaid or SNAP, where can they go? What website can they go to, or whom can they contact right now?
Absolutely. You can call the NJ Family Care customer service at 800-701-0710, or go to our website at dhs.nj.gov. So we're here to help support people. We want to make sure that your contact information is up to date, and make sure that both, and we didn't talk about the SNAP, but more than 800,000 New Jersey residents also rely on SNAP, and we're seeing projected benefits losses as well because of that budget bill. So it's both nutrition and the healthcare that we're really trying to figure out how we can move forward here.
Wow. Well, thankfully, you're on top of it and helping so many people out. Dr. Stephen Cha, Commissioner of the New Jersey Department of Human Services. Thank you for this very important information, and thanks for coming on this morning.
Appreciate you.
All right. It is 8:56 right now. We have a temperature of 60 degrees in northern New Jersey, 64 degrees in Trenton. It's 59 degrees in Cape May, and it's 62 degrees in Vineland. And meteorologist Mike Favetta says we may see a little shower here or there this morning, but today it'll be not so bad. It'll be partly cloudy, but you will feel the increased humidity, the stickies, if you will. So it's not as nice a day to go out and have lunch today as it was yesterday, but still, it's not going to be 90. It's going to be only about 79, so that's not so horrible. And that is on New Jersey Mornings for your Wednesday, June 17th, 2026. Where is June going? It's already more than halfway through the month. And remember, summer starts on Sunday. I'm Ken Rosato, and you could stream us at ONNJ.com. ONLACA.com for the West Coast, ONFLA.com, our new beta testing channel in the state of Florida. We're also on Roku, Fire TV, NewsOn, Samsung TV Plus, Apple TV, YouTube, Facebook, and X. And we stream live every day on Substack, Rumble, Twitch, and you could always watch us on the conglomerate channel, I like to call it, the aggregate channel, Local Now. They got all the local stations from all over the country on that. It's really cool to check out. We'll catch you again tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Tell all your friends about us if you loved us. And if you didn't like what you saw, just keep it our little secret. Till then, have a great day. I'm Ken Rosato. Thanks again for watching Mornings with Ken Rosato. I'll see you again tomorrow morning, bright and early, starting at 7 a.m. Have a great day.